Hello, everybody. I've been eating a raw vegan diet for a long time now, and I try to get food as fresh as possible. And there was a time where I wasn't able to grow my own food in my own yard because I lived in an apartment in New York. And when you're living in an apartment in New York, you don't have gardens. Now, I eventually did find in New York a community garden, what they call them up north. And in a community garden, other people that live in apartments or don't have land will have a little plot, a little square in some bigger garden that everyone contributes to. And that was cool. And if you're in New York or somewhere else where you don't have land, definitely look for a local community garden, especially if it's a good growing area where you can grow a good amount of the year. But now here in Florida, I'm able to grow my own food. So when I first moved to Florida, I had a townhouse and I grew as many trees as possible and as many gardens as possible in my townhouse. And now I was able to get some land, and now I'm growing fruit trees and a great garden as well. So I just want to show you guys some of my fruit trees that are in season now because it's winter time. And a lot of the fruits I grow are not commonly known. So like this fruit is called ackee, and it's in season right now. It's the winter time. It comes in season sometimes more than once a year. And what's great about ackee for a raw food is most of the food I grow is sweet fruit. And I'm not knocking sweet fruit. I love eating sweet fruit. But ackee is more of a fatty fruit. It has like an avocado fat to it, not like a sugar. So it's a good balance, and it's good to have fat sources that are not just nuts. So avocado, ackee, maybe even durian. These are good things for people that are on a raw food diet to consume, to get a good variety of the foods you're eating. Now, another tree I have here, this is called moringa or moringa. Now, a lot of people buy this in the store in a powder form. I actually take these leaves and dry them and make them into a powder form myself. But this is moringa. It has more nutrients than any other food, pretty much. And places around Africa and other places around the world grow this tree and pretty much get their nutrition from this tree. This is like nature's multivitamin right here. So I like to powder it and put it in smoothies. Sometimes I just eat the leaves like I just did. So that is really wonderful. Important for somebody on a vegan diet, a raw vegan diet, to get good sources of food. Moringa is a great source. It'd be hard to find like this online or in the store, but you can find it in a powder or capsule form. I have it on my web store, rawlife.com, in a capsule form. And now this is really cool because traditionally apples only grow up north in colder climates. But here in Florida, we don't technically grow apples here in South Florida, but we grow something called jujubes. And jujube is pretty much looks like a small apple. When I used to live in New York, they used to call something like this a crab apple. And they don't taste good at all, the ones in New York. These are very sweet. I first heard of jujubes when I was in California. My friend had a bunch of these trees. And they're also known as Chinese dates because when these dry, at least the California varieties, when they dry up or shrivel up, they turn red and they taste like butterscotch candy. They're absolutely amazing. We don't get that variety here in Florida. The variety we do get are these, which when you pick them ripe, they literally taste like the sweetest apple you've ever had. And really, really delicious. So they're not as big as a red apple, but some of them are quite big. And I try to plant things that I can eat something all year round because everything has a different season. So that is my jujube tree. And I'm going to go show you my garden because here in the summertime, it's not easy to grow greens. It's not impossible, but it's not easy as other places where they're mostly best time to grow foods is during the winter time, the summertime, because it's too cold in the winter to grow foods. By the way, this is my star fruit. You might see these in the store up north or for like $1 or $2 each, and this tree's loaded with them. But so getting back to the gardening thing, it's something that In the wintertime, most people in the United States don't grow garden greens. But in the summertime, or the spring and the summer is when they do. However, here in Florida, it's the opposite. It's too hot in the summertime to grow traditional greens. You can grow some greens, but mostly in the summertime, it's planting season. So let me show you my garden. Now, I have several gardens here that are about to rain. And these are my kale. And it's been years of experimenting to get them finally looking this good. But I got kale. I got some cabbage. I got some other kale, different type of kale. And then I have a whole bed of lettuce here. I have some oregano. Tomatoes that fell down here. I got bok choy, which is flowering. I got to eat those. So these are my garden beds. I have planted some new things here, but there's more kale. As you can see, there's so much left over. I can't eat this fast enough, so I like to share with my neighbors. I got some tomatoes. I don't have a big plot of land, but I try to make the best out of the space of what I do have. So that is part of one of my gardens. And when I come over here, I'm just experimenting with growing in the ground. You can see this garden is not doing as well, but it's hanging in there. And hopefully it will look as well as it did. I got some carrots there. And I just planted some, I don't know if that's cauliflower, broccoli, but I planted some of that. So we'll see. And as you can see, my mango trees and my other fruit trees, I'll do another video on in the future. Okay, so I know when you're eating a raw vegan diet, it's kind of limited of what you can actually eat in certain times of the year or certain places. It's always good to live near a health food store that has organic produce, and a lot of supermarkets around the country now have organic produce in the non-health food stores, just regular supermarkets. So that's pretty cool. But whenever you can grow something yourself, it's great. Now, what do you do if you don't have land or there's no community garden near you? What I do and suggest is sprouts. I love to grow sprouts inside my house. I grow sunflower sprouts, I grow pea sprouts, and I grow broccoli sprouts. Those are my three favorite ones that I do. I also grow lentil and mung bean sprouts, but I don't let them get to the greens. I eat them more as the bean. But those have been very helpful to me as well. So if you have to buy it in the supermarket or you can't grow it at home, look for a local farmer's market. But if it's local, they probably can't grow it either at that time of year. So do the best you can do with what you got, but see what you can do. See what you can get. And no excuses, just success and results. I've been able to maintain a raw vegan diet for almost 30 years. And I know some of my friends that added cooked foods back to their diet. Some of my friends added animals back to their diet. For me, the best route, and what I think is the best overall, is an all raw vegan diet for my situation. I understand and respect everyone's situation might be different, but this is where I find to be best for me, and it's working. If you have comments and questions, post them below. And if anyone out there is suffering from disease, remember, suffering from disease is not necessarily a choice always that we get a disease, but how you deal with the disease makes a big difference. Emotionally, physically, and spiritually, do the work, and you can improve the chances of overcoming the issues. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Put your questions below. Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.